everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to be digging into the source material for this explainer, which is a real gem for anyone curious about how the web really works. The fantastic book, PHP, The Complete Reference. So, I bet you've seen a URL that looks something like this 1,000 times while you're browsing around. But I want you to look really closely at that little .php at the end. That, right there, that's our clue. It tells us something really interesting is happening behind the scenes.
So, did you ever stop and actually wonder what that little extension really means? Well, if you have, you're in the right place, because today we're going to find out, and understanding it is kind of the key to understanding how a huge chunk of the internet gets built.
All right, so first things first, let's go on a little safari and see PHP out in the wild. It really is the hidden language of the web. Why? Because it's pretty much everywhere, working away even when you have no idea it's there.
Now, you might be thinking this is just for, I don't know, old blogs or simple websites, right? Nope, not at all. As our source material points out, huge institutions like the Ohio State University use it right on their main page.
And it's not a one-off thing either. The book gives us another great example, the University of Minnesota. We're talking about credible, massive, high-traffic sites that have been relying on this powerful language for years.
And if you want to talk about scale, well, check out this number. The book's intro mentions that back when it was written, a Google search for PHP turned up 2.89 billion results. That's billion with a B. It just goes to show you how massive and popular this thing really is. Okay, so what is PHP actually doing? Well, you can think of it as the secret ingredient. It's the magic that happens backstage, turning a boring static web page into something truly dynamic and interactive. And this analogy just nails the difference. A plain, static HTML website, that's like a printed restaurant menu. It's set in stone. Everyone who looks at it sees the exact same thing. But a dynamic site using PHP, well, that's the restaurant's kitchen. It takes your specific order and whips up a custom page, a custom meal just for you. Now, the way this all works is because PHP is a server-side language, and that's a super important idea. See, some code, like JavaScript, runs right there in your browser, on the client side, but PHP does all its thinking and all its heavy lifting on the web server before a single piece of the web page is ever sent to you.
Let's walk through that process. It's actually pretty simple. First, you click a link, and your browser asks the server for a page ending in .php. The server grabs that file. But, and here's the magic trick, instead of just sending it back, it first reads through it and runs any PHP code it finds. Then, it creates a brand new, plain old HTML page from the results and sends that back to your browser. Your browser never even sees the secret PHP recipe.
I know, it might still sound a little complicated. But what's so cool is that all this power, all this magic, is built from just a few incredibly simple parts. So let's deconstruct that magic. I mean, just think about all the interactive stuff you do online. Our source text brings up guest books, chat rooms, online shopping carts. All these complex things are actually made from the same simple little ingredients. Okay, ingredient number 1, the most basic building block of all, the variable. It's just a little container with a name where you can store some information. In PHP, they always start with a $sign. The book uses this great example. We're just telling the server, hey, remember the number 4, and let's call it $cheeseburgers. It's that simple. It's how a shopping cart remembers what you've added. Building block number 2 is a command. This is a direct order telling the server to do something. The most basic one is echo, which literally just means spit this text out onto the page. So in our shopping cart, this is how the site would show you the message, you have 4 items in your cart. And our third little ingredient is the operator. This is just a symbol that performs an action, usually on our variables. So here, the plus sign is our operator. We're telling the server take whatever number is in $cheeseburgers, add 3 more to it, and save the new total. Boom, you just clicked add to cart again, and the operator did the math. Now your cart knows you're really hungry and want 7 cheeseburgers. All right, you ready for the real aha moment? Because when you take these simple building blocks and you start mixing them with regular web content, that's when you see what makes PHP so incredibly cool and powerful.
And this slide just captures that idea perfectly. Look at the left. That's what a developer writes on the server. It's a mix of normal HTML and then this special PHP block that starts with PHP. The server zips through that file, executes only the code inside those special tags, and then seamlessly weaves the output right into the final HTML page that your browser gets. That's what you see on the right. It's brilliant.
So this all leads to a big question, right? This language was created way, way back in 1994. In tech years, that's ancient. So why is it still one of the most popular languages on the entire internet? What's the secret sauce to its endurance?
Well, the source material breaks it down for us perfectly. It was built from the ground up to be fast and easy, not just for the server to run, but for actual people to write code in. Being able to just sprinkle it right into your HTML is a massive win. You don't have to go through some complicated extra step to compile it, and at the end of the day, it gives developers complete control to build whatever they can imagine.
But you know, my favorite reason is summed up in this fantastic quote from the author, Stephen Holzner. After he lists all the technical stuff, he just says, more than all that, developing with PHP is just plain fun. And honestly, for the people who spend their days building the web, that might be the most important reason of all.
So next time you're online, you're shopping, you're reading the news, you're on social media, just take a little peek at the URL in your address bar and ask yourself, what part of my digital life is being powered by this hidden, powerful, and apparently really fun language?